Okay, let's try this again. I already tried this once and lost the footage. Quick and dirty video on loot boxes, gambling, and all that jazz. If you've seen the headlines, it looks like there's been a petition in the UK for the government to get involved with loot boxes because a lot of people view them as gambling and they want the government to respond. Now, it's analogous to a White House petition here. The White House petition just means they have to respond. It doesn't mean they have to do anything about it. So, may or may not do anything. If they are deemed as gambling, that's sort of the kiss of death for a lot of games over there, and they're going to have to change how things work because real gambling in games constitutes an AO rating, and that's here in the States. Over in Australia and a bunch of other places, they may not even get certified, so they'll be pirated and won't be able to be sold. In at least Australia, I don't know about the UK, which is where this is happening, but the issue is that the question is continuing to arise: are loot boxes gambling? The ESRB says no. I say the ESRB is full of crap. They liken loot boxes to a Magic the Gathering card pack. Problem with that: Magic the Gathering card packs are physical. This is digital. Something digital has no value. Even if I can go online and buy the latest edition of Gran Turismo for $60, $70, $80 and get things of value in game for that amount, it doesn't matter. It is still data that I can't transfer to someone else. I can't transfer my Gran Turismo Sports. I mean, with Xbox, yes, you sort of can, but you get my point. I can't just gift that to somebody. It is not a physical item. In a Magic the Gathering card pack, I can take all my commons and give them to somebody and keep my rare or my mythic or whatever I got out of that pack. That is physical, even if they're only worth a penny. If you were to take the star cards in Battlefront 2, in those loot boxes, you can get duplicates. And unlike in Hearthstone, where you can grind those duplicates down or stuff that you don't need so that you can buy other things, you get credits or whatever, kind of like you do in Overwatch, but where they affect gameplay is different. Let me come back. The star cards, you get duplicates, you get those little credits or whatever, and it's a very minuscule amount. If you were to put an amount on it, it would probably be less than a penny, which in turn is like having nothing. If it's worth less than a penny, it has no monetary value. A coupon is worth 1/100th of a cent, so it has no monetary value. If I were to buy a pack of coupons, even if I can save money, I would still have nothing of technical monetary value because they are worthless. They are worth less than zero. And in my opinion, they are gambling because, unlike card packs, as I said, you get no physical item. You get no... Sorry about that, making sure that I'm okay where I'm parked at. You get nothing. You get nothing for your investment. Yes, you get access to something in-game, but that is locking digital goods behind a paywall. So, in turn, if I were to... Let's take the Magic the Gathering example. If I were to go to Magic the Gathering Online, the game, I can still trade those goods to somebody else. But in all these other games, you can't trade. There's no trade. There's no way to sell them. There's no value whatsoever. If Overwatch had a way to trade their skins, let's say you get a duplicate legendary. All right, I want to trade that skin for that skin. Okay, cool. I could see that not being gambling. You're at least getting something that you can use. And yes, loot can be randomized, especially in MMOs and stuff like that. And people might start to argue, oh, well, that's gambling. The problem is in MMOs, you're not paying for the chest. You may have grinded away hours upon hours of gameplay to get something you didn't want. I did it in Borderlands 2. I got mods I couldn't use because it was a class that I hadn't rolled with. But guess what? I still wasn't gambling because all I was doing was wasting my time. I was not I wasn't sinking my money into it. So this will be a very interesting case because Britain's known to be a lot stricter, and if they do deem loot boxes as gambling, as a lot of gamers believe that they are, except for loot box apologists, as I've heard them called, we're going to see an interesting shift in games, because even if you don't think they're gambling, you at least have to think how predatory this is to someone who psychologically would be susceptible to gambling. And that's saying, oh, well, that's a thought crime, you can't police that. Fair enough. I can understand that. The problem is that this game, as another person said, it creates haves and have-nots. I want that Genji skin that looks like a Super Sentai character, but I'm not going to sink tons of money into it. I know people have sunk $50, not even got it. My buddy bought one loot box and got it. I mean, and then that creates a feeling of, oh, well, maybe I'll get it next time. Maybe I'll get it next time. And it creates this constant feedback loop of maybe I'll get it, maybe I'll get it, maybe I'll get it. And you never do. And that's an issue. It's a very big issue for a lot of gamers out there, because children are susceptible to this. And when children have access to games where it psychologically affects them, there's an issue. You can argue till the cows come home that violent games affect people. There's no evidence to support that. You can argue all day that violent games affect people. There's no evidence to support that. It doesn't take very much evidence to support the fact that loot boxes have predatory gambling practices woven into their very design philosophy. Take the skins in CSGO. Not only do you get a box, but then have to pay to open it. So it's like, oh, well, I got that thing sitting there. I don't want it in my inventory anymore. Let me pay the $250 to open it. It sits there and it scrolls by until, oh, wait, you're going to get the legendary? Nope. Oh, well, maybe next time you're going to get the legendary? Nope. It is just like gambling. Oh, look at it. It's going by. Oh, I almost hit the jackpot. Oh, I almost hit the jackpot. It creates the exact same feeling in the player, the exact same feeling in the end user. And yes, feelings, thought crimes, I get it. But to define something as gambling, you have to lose money. And in many cases, you are losing money because of the duplicates. If people created loot boxes with you not being able to get duplicates, it would kind of defeat the purpose of loot boxes, but then it wouldn't be gambling because you're always getting something new. You're always getting DLC. You're always exchanging something for something else in game that is usable. If it is not usable, it is worth less than zero, and that in turn is gambling. So we'll see what happens. I don't know that anything will happen, but if it does, it'll be very interesting to see how many games crumble very, very quickly because they've built their entire economy on the loot box model. I'm not blaming Overwatch. I'm not blaming these games. Some people do it right. If it's purely cosmetic, I don't have as much of an issue with it, but I still have an issue with how predatory it is. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm sorry it was so rambly, but this thought's been on my mind, and I just saw this headline, so I've got to get it off my chest. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be an update video here in a week or two. Peace.